Tuesday night. It's 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to be cooking. We're going to be making ham casserole tonight for dinner. I hope you guys stick around. The first step is I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm going to start the process in this Dutch oven behind me here. I need to make a couple of announcements really quick. But we'll get going on this first. We'll get some stuff melting. How about that? So first of all, tonight I'm going to be making two 13x9 pans. I plan to freeze one and we're going to eat the other one tonight and tomorrow. So the amounts I'm going to be giving you are just for one 13x9 pan, not two, but you're going to see me adding double the ingredients to the pot. So do not get confused. I am doubling this recipe, but I'm going to just give you guys the 13x9 recipe, okay? Okay, so really quick, because I know there's lots of people out there that only have so much time. We can talk about the stuff later in more detail. But I just wanted to mention that if you guys watched my video on the herbal tinctures and stuff, I did mention the Perfect Supplements brand desiccated liver, the bulk powder. It's all loose in here. It's not capsules. And it comes with a little scoop. This was out of stock at that time. It's back in stock. So the link is down below in the description box to go to perfectsupplements.com and you'll be able to find the desiccated liver there. It's only $28 and this will fill like hundreds of capsules just in case you don't eat liver on a regular basis, but you want to get it in. This is a great way. Hey, Julie, you're on. That's awesome. But this is a really, really amazing company, you guys. Everything is tested for glyphosate. It's all grass-fed cows. So this is a steal of a deal, and the more containers you buy, the cheaper they make it. So it's amazing. That link is down below. They also sell the emu oil that I used for my teeth, and they sell fermented cod liver oil all on that same site for Perfect Supplements, okay? So that link is down below.
The wind is nice outside.
Isn't it nice? The wind has finally died down, which I'm really happy about because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this live because we hardly had cell service today. So hopefully it's coming through clear. The second thing I wanted to mention is this is new, okay? And this product, I wanted to try it out before I did a review and before I shared the link. But if you're healing your cavities, hey Sharon, if you're healing your cavities, or even cavities, this product is monumental, okay? So back when I was pregnant, I had a friend tell me you should look into Sourdough salt water, okay? So then I had my miscarriage, didn't order it, ordered it about a month ago, and I've been using the Sourdough water. I drink it in the morning on an empty stomach and then wait 30 minutes to eat. And let me tell you, my teeth feel smooth like when you use toothpaste that has glycerin. It's like the enamel is like totally rebuilding. It's absolutely amazing. I am just blown away. Okay, so this is the product. It's made by Symphony Health. Man, the lighting's horrible, guys. Hang on a second. I'm not used to doing these lives when it's still light out. Okay, it is crystal stones for Sourdough. And the link is down below. You have to scroll all the way down in the description box. It's the very, very last link. Now, the link is going to be a little bit confusing because when you click on it, it's going to take you to their hormone supplement page. But keep scrolling to the bottom of that and it'll say pink Himalayan salt and click on it. This stuff's amazing. So what you get is this box and they send you this bag full of stones. I know that sounds really, really funny. These are all salt stones. They're all hand mined, no explosives to mess with the energy of the actual product. So anyway, this little process, you just soak the stones in some water for 24 hours and then just add a little bit of that water to your water that you drink. So another thing I learned, because I sat through a seminar from a holistic dentist, and she was talking about how crucial minerals are. So just in this salt that you add to your water, okay, there are 84 ionic minerals, which is like a ton of minerals that you need for all of your body functions. But also another thing that I learned that I didn't know is that your hormones, like any sort of hormonal change during life, so when you get teens, or if you're on your period, or if you get pregnant, or if you're menopausal, when that happens, your teeth, usually they get the nutrients from the inside, from your root and your blood source. But during those hormonal changes, it actually changes and it reverses. So your teeth are actually trying to suck the nutrients in from the outside instead of the inside. So that's why this stuff I think is really, really working for me. Is I've had so many hormonal changes with my miscarriage and everything. I think my teeth were really, really taking a beating. But let me tell you guys, this stuff's amazing. So if you're interested, the link's down below. Like I said, when you click on it, it's going to take you to their other products page. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll say Himalayan pink salt. Click on it and it'll bring it right up, okay? So, amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, now let's get cooking. I just want to get that stuff out of the way because I know a lot of people don't have time to sit through these half an hour, 45-minute cooking classes. And I wanted to make sure that people heard about those two things because they're very, very, very important. Okay, so let's get to cooking, guys. So I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to slide down this way. I missed Julie's comment. Julie said calm and 65 here, but high wind. Oh, man. We are supposed to have almost 60 tomorrow. I'm really, really excited. Sharon said, I made my own soy water. I learned from Doug and Stacy Off-Grid. That's a good channel, too. Okay, so I'm going to get a board. Cutting board would help. People are just coming in and out of this room. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this pot over medium heat. You just need a pot with a lid. It doesn't have to be a Dutch oven. It's just what I love to cook with. So to this pot, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter, but I'm going to add more because I'm doubling this. Remember, if you just jumped on, I'm doubling this to fill 2 13x9 pans. But the ingredients I'm going to give you are for 1 13x9. Okay, so then while this is melting, we're going to chop an onion. I usually grab yellow onions. I mean, you could use a different one if you wanted to. I just like the flavor of the yellow onion over, say, a white onion. My husband doesn't like onions at all, so it's kind of a compromise. So I'm going to chop up a yellow onion, and I'm actually going to do 2 because, like I said, I'm doing a freezer meal. I also wanted to say that the podcast I was on is up. If you just do a quick Google search for Modern Ancestral Mamas, the podcast is up. They had me on their podcast to talk about food budgeting, and it went really, really well. So if you guys are interested in that, just like I said, type in your search bar Modern Ancestral Mamas, and that podcast will pop on up as the latest one. That was a lot of fun. Also, if you're unaware, if you've been kind of logged out from the channel for a while, I do have this is all down in the description box below, but I do have all of my cookbooks, my one cookbook, up for sale on a Shopify store now. So all you have to do is click the link and you pay using any credit card or PayPal, and I ship it out to you. Also on that Shopify store are my kefir grains for raw milk kefir and my sourdough starter. I can mail those out to you as well. They're only $5. And then I also came up with several meal plans that are instant downloads. I have one for like healing your teeth. I have another one, and that was also full gaps. I have another one that's, I have 2 that are freezer meals for busy mamas that just need to put 15 freezer meals inside the freezer. And then I also have the cheaper than processed meal plan, which is basically making things like homemade rice-a-roni or beef stroganoff for your family. And what comes inside the meal plans is a meal list, a meal planning guide, a complete grocery shopping list, a complete pantry list, and all of the recipes you need to make the 2 weeks or a month, depending on which plan you choose, worth of food. So I'm going to actually take all of these because I saved these for my broth, and I actually have broth going right now across the room into the roaster. So I'm going to go add these to the roaster really quick. I just make sure you check for stickers because you don't need that in your broth. These are nice organic onions from Azure Standard. If you guys watch my Azure hauls, you know that. I get 2 bags every month. You can do the same thing with carrots or celery ends. all of that sort of thing. You can save. So this is going to go right into this melted butter here. Sue's going to take the remaining onion peel out. We've got a big warm up coming tomorrow. It's supposed to be almost 60. And we've got one more goat that's supposed to be going into labor over the weekend. My guess is she'll wait till Sunday or so because we're supposed to have a warm up through the weekend. And then, well, actually, we're not. 60 tomorrow, 5 inches of snow Thursday, then the warm up through the weekend, and then the next cold front. So we'll see. But it's supposed to be raining next week, which would be totally epic. That would be awesome. Usually when it rains, we don't go back to snow, but you know, this is South Dakota, so it might go back to snow. Who knows? All right, so I think that was all of my chopping, was just the one onion. So I'm going to get rid of this cutting board and move you guys in a little closer. And I'm probably going to go wash my hands because I got onion juice on them. All right, back. Okay. It's starting to simmer. Sharon says, I'm making your chicken and rice soup from the cheaper than profit plan. I've started the chicken and rice preparation. Nice. Yes, Sharon, I remember your order now. Yes, yes, yes. You got more than one though, didn't you, Sharon? I think you got a couple of meal plans if I remember right. I can't keep all of it straight. Yes, yes. Okay, so this is going to cook. And then in just a minute, we're going to add some broth. So this is my homemade. This is actually one way that I save a lot of money on my food budget. So broth, yes, Sharon, you got them all. That's what I thought. I didn't want to say it and then make you feel bad if you didn't buy all of my meal plans, but I was pretty sure you did. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. That was so encouraging to me. You have no idea. And you checked out individually for each one. And so I get like a little ding on my phone when I get a sale. And so it went ding, 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 ding. And I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of freaked out. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so back what I was saying is this is my homemade broth. It's supposed to look gelatinous after it comes out of the refrigerator. But what I wanted to say is this is one way I save a lot of money on my food budget. If I know that my meals can have pre-cooked meat in them, then what I do is I just do a roaster. I'm going to show you guys my dirty. Hang on a second. We'll turn you around and show you. So this is what I use to make all my broth. See that big roaster right over there? Okay, so that's what I use to make all of my broth. And so what I do is, let's say that I have some meals that call for chicken in them, but I know I can put cooked chicken in. Then I will put the whole chicken. I'll buy whole chickens and I'll put them in there, cover them with water and make, I call it broth. Some people call it meat stock, whatever. Water, apple cider vinegar. Cook it for 12 hours, remove all of the meat, and pre-package them into freezer bags. But then the broth, the water, the liquid that's in there, can now be used as broth inside our recipes. You can do that for beef as well. And that is one way to save because you're going to cook that meat anyway. And so why not cook it, slow cook it, and get yourself your own broth. Then you don't have to buy it from the store. A lot of times I can my broth, but lately I've been kind of lazy and not wanting to can it, so I just keep it to the refrigerator and just plan to use it in the meals that I'm making. So this looks like almost 2 cups. This meal is going to call for 2.5 cups. See, I'm doubling it. So, and this is just sauteing away here. So I'm just going to get my broth ready to go. If you're going to can your broth, you're going to want to refrigerate your broth afterwards, after you cook it. And then you're going to want to skim this fat off. But since I'm using it for cooking, this fat's going to go right into our meal, which is another bonus. All right, let's see if I can transfer some of this. So I'm going to need 5 cups of broth total. If you're only making 1 pan, you only need 2.5 cups. See if I can do this without making a total disaster with my kitchen. Woo! It will be like Jell-O till it warms up. Don't let that freak you out. Those are nutrients causing that to be gelatinous. Woo. All right, let's see how many cups we have now. It's looking like 4.5, so almost there. Just a little bit more. So this meal uses fermented rice. If you don't know how to do that, I do have a video up here on how to do it. You also would want to follow that video up with the other video that talks about the complete guide to soaking and fermenting beans, because it also mentions rice in that one. Okay, so this broth is going to be ready to go whenever the onion gets cooked. I got to cook my onions all the way because my husband's going to eat this tonight. Okay, so that's my oven notifying me it's at 350 degrees. Okay. So I ran out of Azure Standard's delicious, amazing, affordable frozen vegetables. So this is Walmart brand. Steamable broccoli. We're going to cut this open and just cook it into the pan anyway. But I had to go grab that today. I never quite know exactly how vegetables are going to go through, especially with me still trying to stay on the lower side of the grains. Just as a, I don't know. I'm not afraid to eat grains, but I'm limiting them even when they're properly prepared, because I just noticed that my body does a little bit better on the lower side of the carb train. Although yesterday I did have some zucchini sourdough bread, because who can bake sourdough? Anything sourdough, first of all, but zucchini bread or banana bread and not eat some. So I had some of that yesterday. It was delicious. I really feel like my cavities are done healing. That was the other thing that I kind of had cemented to me was from that dentist seminar that I sat through with a holistic dentist out of Utah. Was basically that my teeth, the holes will heal up some, but they're not going to heal up completely. But the tooth will build a new coating of enamel in the inside of that hole. So as long as the diet is good and you're getting plenty of minerals, they shouldn't take off again. So I'm just going to rest in that. I eat a nutrient-dense diet, cod liver oil, and all the K2 stuff. So I'm just going to rest in that and trust that they are healed. I have no more tooth pain. I haven't had tooth pain in months. But obviously there's still holes there because, well, they're not going to fill all the way back in. Okay, so this is just about soft enough for my husband not to complain, which is a double bonus. So we are going to add, let's saute it, just a couple more stirs. I just hate it when I'm eating with him and he's like picking onions out because they're not soft enough. Funny story, when we first got married, it was like, there was an older guy, a widower, he was teaching me how to cook. And my husband finally told me he doesn't like the onions. And so he asked me if I can cook without onions. And I'm like, how do you cook without onions? So I switched to onion powder for like an entire year. All of my recipes had onion powder in it. And my husband, after about 4 months, was like, man, your food tastes so much better without onions. And I just had to laugh. And I said to him, my food still has onions in it. It's just they're powdered. So it's actually not the taste of onions you don't like. It's the texture. Anyway. So I try to make sure the texture is more palatable for him because he doesn't like the crunch. I'm one of those people that would put like raw onions on my nachos or Mexican food. And you would never catch him doing that. Not even purple onions, which I love purple onions. Oh my gosh. Not like loving like an apple, you know, but you know, it's good. Okay, so that was my doubled recipe of broth. If you're only making one 13x9 pan, you just need 2.5 cups of broth. Okay, I'm gonna give it a good stir. We're gonna switch the heat over to medium-high heat for this just to bring it up to a boil. And we're gonna add some fermented rice. So I continue to get the same questions over and over and over again, so I'm gonna talk about it again, which is why do I ferment my rice? So we ferment our rice for a couple of reasons. Number one, it fills up your family faster. Okay, number two is that all seeds of the earth have a coating on them, or in them, called phytic acid, and they have enzyme inhibitors. And because of that, we want to break that down so the body can use it. not going to be robbing nutrients from your body to break that coating down. So that's why we ferment, soak and ferment our rice. And also another reason why we ferment, another really, really big benefit, is that it starts to break down the hard to digest proteins in beans and stuff. And it also helps with bloating when you go to eat the rice. So anyway, it helps a lot on a lot of different levels. So you need 1 1/4 cup of fermented rice. I'm going to double that. So usually, I've said this in other videos, but I line all of my jars up on the counter and I ferment all of the rice I need and all the beans I need for 1 month. And then soak and ferment them, and then I go ahead and freeze them in freezer bags, which is what you're seeing right here. And then they're ready to go in meals. All right, so this is going to come up to a simmer/boil here in just a few minutes. How's it going outside, Nevaeh? Oh, good. Okay, so I'm going to add my broccoli at this point. You need 2 cups of broccoli or whatever vegetable you want to use. I thought broccoli sounded good even though I'm not going to be the one eating it. So it's going to be about 2 of these little I call them miniature bags, shrinkflation, 10-ounce bags of broccoli. All right. Those are going to go on in. And that's it for this pan for now. So I'm just going to put a lid on. And we're going to bring it up to a simmer. I'm going to go wash this pan. I think this, well, will this one work? Let me think. 1 can, so that's about 4 cups. No, I'm going to do a different pan. Hang on a second. We'll do a different pan. We'll do a saucepan. Okay, so the next part of this is homemade cream of chicken soup. If you have my cookbook, the recipes for cream of chicken and cream of mushroom are both in here. If you don't have this yet, the link's down below to purchase it. You just click pay with your credit card, and I ship it right on out to you. Let's see, what page is it on? Research into the soup recipe section. Let's find out. Yep, page 116. So there are both of them. Now, I'm not going to follow this religiously, but just for time's sake and somewhere to point you guys, this is where I would go when replacing condensed cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup. Okay, so in this back container, pot, pan, whatever this is, we are going to start a mixture for making cream of chicken soup. So what we need is 1/2 cup of chicken broth, which I'm going to double this once again, guys, because I'm filling 2 pans. While you guys are waiting, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up if you are able to, that's awesome. Just helping getting the word out about nutrient-dense foods. Okay, so we need 1 cup. Okay, so that's going to start to melt down. I also wanted to throw out there that I do plan to be at the Weston A. Price convention this year. So that would be an amazing opportunity for you guys to meet me in person. The convention is going to be in Kansas City this year. So anyway, if you're interested in that, all of the information is on www.westonaprice.org. It's in October. It's October 19th? I think it's 20th, 21st, 22nd. But anyway, it's on their website. The date's there. And anyway, so there's going to be a lot of good speakers and good food. They have amazing, amazing food at these conferences and amazing like-minded people. And of course, I'm going to be there. And I would love to meet you guys. Okay, so this is going to start melting. Another thing that we need is 1/2 cup of milk. So I need a whole cup because I'm doubling. I don't leave the farm very often, so I haven't been to a convention in 5 years. I'm looking forward to this one. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing people who are there that are here on the channel. Sharon, I learned about the cookbook from Mary on Mary's Nest. About my cookbook? Sharon, did she talk about my cookbook? I hope not, because I didn't know. I would have given her a thank you. I better turn my burner on. It was off, you guys. That's going to be cooking really fast. All right. I'm going to get my other ingredients in there. All right. I'm going to feel bad if Mary's Nest gave me a shout out and I didn't see it. I haven't watched her in a while. I don't have a lot of time on YouTube anymore. So I kind of have to. I learned about the cookbook. Okay, hang on. No, Nourishing Traditions. Okay, gotcha. All right. I didn't think so. I don't think she knows about mine yet. All right, so the next ingredient is 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I'm going to eyeball this because apparently all I have is a tablespoon of measurement in my cabinet. So it's been like one of those days, and I'm trying to break apart the chunks. It's been one of those days. All right, so that was 2 teaspoons, but see, I have to double it. That's right, I gotta double it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Hopefully these chunks come out. I guess we're gonna find out. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I need 2. There we go. All right, and then I need to grab some salt. Another nice thing about the convention is they have like rooms blocked off too for a different rate down there. So okay, so now we need half of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going for 1 teaspoon, so I'm doubling it. This is going to come up to a simmer. We're going to need a whisk. Hey, it's clean. It's a miracle. I thought about starting a second channel because every time I say I've got 5 kids and a farm, everyone's like, oh, that'd be such a good name for a YouTube channel, which it would. And I would do that. I just don't know how many of you guys would actually stick around to see like the kids gardening and our goats and all of that sort of stuff. It would be a different kind of channel. And I'm just not, I don't know if I have the time either to record all of that because my life is so busy, but I have thought about it, guys. I have thought about it. So this is going to come up to a simmer, and the second it comes up to a simmer, we're going to start thickening it. I'm going to give this other pan a stir that we have going. Once this reaches a boil, which is pretty darn close. So what happens when you cook on a dirty stove, Crystal? Look at that. You got some noise happening. We're going to let this simmer for 15 minutes, and then we're going to pull it off the heat, and we're going to be transferring it into 13x9 pans. Okay, so what I was saying is this little sauce here is going to come to a simmer. And when it does, we're going to thicken it. Now you have a couple of different choices with thickeners. You could use corn starch, which I don't use anymore. Just personal preference. You can find organic, but at our local stores you can't. So I'm going to be using cassava flour tonight. You could also use things like arrowroot powder. What's another one? Any sort of thickener. I'm drawing a blank on the rest of what they're all the names of them. All right. So we are cooking. We're going to go ahead and grease our 13x9 pans. I'm making 2 of them, one for a freezer meal and one for tonight's dinner. And hopefully tomorrow's lunch. I tell you what, that last week's live, that video, that pulled pork King Ranch casserole, My family could only eat half of a 13 by 9. That never happens, you guys. It was so full of fat by the time I got done, though, because I added the pork cracklings to it. And, yeah, it was just... it was so filling that nobody could eat more than half of the 13 by 9 pan. I had kids coming up to ask for a second piece. And by the time they got from the stove back to the table with their second piece, they're like, Mom, I don't think I can eat this. And I said, yeah, I don't think you can either. I think it's just way too much. It's too rich. All right, there's one. I am greasing these pans with lard, just in case you're new to the channel. We use semi-solid fats. We're out of oil here, okay? I'm going to leave the lid on. I'm going to reduce the heat down to medium so that this can simmer for 15 minutes, okay? As I was saying, if you're new to the channel, we use semi-solid fats to grease our pans or fat up our pans or however you'd like to say it. Because semi-solid fats are stable when you go to bake with them or heat them up. They don't turn around or create free radicals within the body. Okay, this is boiling back here. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of thickener of choice. This is cassava flour. I gravitate to the cassava flour because it's grain-free. Not starch-free, but it is grain-free. If you don't want to do starches, you could also thicken this up with cream cheese. Okay, I'm reducing that down a little bit as well, down to medium. So both pans are on medium heat. And just in case you're just now jumping on, we're making homemade cream of chicken on the back, and we're making ham casserole here. Hi, Crystal. I will also be leaving early to go to the Weston Price Zoom meeting to discuss winter journal articles. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to kind of miss that, but thank you, Jackie. Thanks for jumping on when you could. All right, I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon. That was kind of shy. One more tablespoon of cassava flour, and this is nice and thick and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat off the back burner. That's how easy it is, you guys, to make cream of chicken soup. Boom. It's done. Like I said, if you don't have that recipe, it's inside my cookbook, page 116. The link's down below to purchase the cookbook. I missed somebody's comment. Hang on, guys. Yummy, says one dish. It's going to be really good. It's ham casserole is what we're making. So in this pan, we have rice and broccoli and an onion that we had sauteed, and the rice is fermented, and there's broth in there, and we are simmering it / boiling it for the next 15 minutes, and then we're going to transfer it to a pan and finish baking it. Okay, so back to the semi-solid fat discussion. So I'm using lard tonight. This is my homemade rendered lard. Lard is one of the approved semi-solids to use for baking and cooking. And like I said, the reason why that is because when you heat it up, it doesn't get damaged and then cause free radical damage within your body. So other examples, if you can't get your hands on lard, which is very sad because I love lard, it would be things like tallow, which is comes from a cow, that's beef fat. You could do goose fat, duck fat, coconut oil, butter, those sort of things. But we're not going to do Crisco. Crisco actually does not stay stable at higher temperatures. So vegetables, oils, anything made out of a vegetable does not stay stable at high temperatures. So even things like olive oil, if you use those to saute, that's a big no-no. Choose butter instead. Butter gives so much more flavor to your food anyway, and it stays stable as you saute those vegetables. We don't want to be eating free radicals, pretty much. So olive oil is amazing for things like salad dressings. Same thing with avocado oil. Those are great for salad dressings. Something that you're not going to heat up to a high temperature. Okay. So I've got this already cooked ham, which is what we're going to be throwing in there tonight. It's like still partially frozen though, because I also buy ham and I dice it up and freeze it, so it just makes a really, really quick meal. I'm going to try and break these pieces apart. All right. So I'm going to repeat what I said in the beginning of the video because we got a few minutes and I know there's more people that have jumped on. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. So I'm going to grab my stuff though. If you watched the hour long, I think it was an hour and a half long, herbal class that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I mentioned inside the herbal class how important it is to be consuming liver on a regular basis. If you don't eat it, you have to find another way to get it in. If you missed that class, it is still up. Please go watch it. It is so important this day and age to get onto more natural medicine and to know how to use it. I go over all the books, how to make it yourself, how to make it affordable, where to buy stuff. It's all inside that video from a couple weeks ago. It's the live herbal class, okay? So what I'm going to talk about is the liver powder. This is the product I had mentioned in the class, but during the class they were out of stock because this sells out so stinking fast, you guys. So this is just liver powder. If you want it already inside the capsules, they sell that too. But this powder will fill tons of capsules. And just like I talked about inside that class, it was free up here on YouTube, you can get your own capsule machine and fill them yourself. It takes about 30 minutes to make hundreds of capsules, you guys. Save some money and just buy the powder, but they do offer it in capsules as well. The link to this company is down below. You're just gonna click on it and you're going to click on their desiccated liver products. This jar is only $28. It's going to fill hundreds of capsules. I love this. It comes with a scoop. You can add this to your like meatloafs, your meatballs and stuff. You won't even tell it's even in there. It's just an amazing way to sneak liver in for your family, okay? And the more you buy, they give you a discount. So I think I bought 3 tubs and I got like 20% off. Like it's a substantial, it's not like 5% off. I believe it's 20% off if you buy 3 of these. So that's what I did because it was way cheaper that way. But anyway, this is back in stock. So if you guys watched that live and you guys are like, oh man, they're out of stock. It's in stock for right now. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be in stock tomorrow, but go grab some of this, okay, while it's in stock. Because usually when they're out of stock for like 2 or 3 weeks. So anyway, that's Perfect Supplements. The link's down below. And just to go over this one more time, the other product that I've been trying for my teeth healing journey is this Sourdough Salt Crystal Stone Water. This stuff's amazing. It's 84 ionic minerals, which your body totally depends on. And basically my teeth, they're so smooth now. So it's definitely helping to rebuild the enamel and like the outside structure of my teeth because it feels like that like just brushed with glycerin type smoothness on my teeth, okay? And my teeth feel stronger on this. So anyway, the link for this is also down below. It's all the way down at the bottom of the description box. You click on it, it's going to take you to a page because they also sell natural hormonal products for women. So that's what's going to come up first. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, guys, the very, very bottom, it'll say Himalayan salt products. I think is what it says. Himalayan salt or something. You click it and it'll take you right to this stuff. But anyway, this lasts a really long time. They send you this box that it has these stones in it. You soak it in filtered water for 24 hours and then you strain off that water. And you add that water to your water. But I have seen, you guys, I wouldn't fake this out. I have seen so much improvement in my teeth. I've only been doing this for about 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks. I don't think it's been quite a month yet. But this stuff is amazing and it's worth the money. It'll last you forever. People come over to my house and I'm like, you want a salt stone? Because they send you so many inside the box. But anyway, that link's down below. Like I said, amazing product. There. Now that I spent you guys' paychecks, let's check on what's going on over here. I'm so glad you guys are with me. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to grab something so I don't burn my hand on this. I'm going to give this a stir. So this is the base to our casserole. And it's got some broccoli in it. You could use peas though. If your kids don't like broccoli, use peas. You could use green beans. All good options. So we got about another 8 minutes or so of simmering. And then we're going to move on to the next step for that. Okay. So in the meantime, I have greased my 2 13x9 pans. Let me get them both on the screen. Oh, there we go. Get a little bit of it. Okay. I only have so much counter space, guys. Okay, so I have greased my two 13x9 pans, and what's going to happen is this is going to get poured into here. So we are going to go ahead and add to our cream of chicken, homemade cream of chicken soup back over here. We're going to add 1/2 cup of sour cream. I bought this stuff from Azure Standard. I usually buy Nancy's brand, but they were all out, so Organic Valley it is. So 1/2 cup of sour cream going into the back there. I'm just gonna eyeball it, you guys, and I actually need a cup because I'm doubling all of this. So it's about 1/2 container for me because I'm doubling it. Whew, I'm getting sour cream everywhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a good stir. All right, we are getting prepared here now. So the next ingredient is cooked ham, 2 cups of cooked ham. And like I said before, I'm doubling this. I'm gonna freeze one. I have about 2 more weeks of my meal plan left, and I just want to make sure that I have this one ready to go. Okay, so we need 2 cups, but I'm going to need more like 4 cups of already cooked up ham. All right. And I'm just going to actually leave this stuff on the top so that the rice can finish cooking. I'm just going to put my lid back on because it'll thaw it out a little bit because I have some frozen parts still. Today I rendered lard. No, today we made pork sausage, which that recipe is also inside my cookbook. It's under seasonings. But we made pork sausage, and the day before we did more lard, and then last week we did lard. It's a lard kind of time, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add, the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of milk, but I have double that. Oh, we'll get some more milk. To the cream of mushroom back there. I'm gonna give it a stir real quick. Because this cream of mushroom is gonna get added to the pot in front here and dumped into this mess up here. All right, I'm gonna go get more milk because I ran out. I'm gonna use our goat milk from this afternoon because it's just so easy because it's about a little over a cup. I'll just drink the rest. All right, and it went. Just gonna give it a good stir, and this is gonna be ready to go right into that rice. And this is gonna come together super fast. Other than cooking the rice, this is actually a really quick meal. All right, and you could technically cook the rice ahead of time and then just add it to the meal and dump it and go. All right, let's see how this is looking in here. Oh yeah, the ham is thawed out. All right, I'm gonna mix it up. You guys might want to see, huh? I don't know, because you're like on YouTube watching a video about someone cooking, so you might want to see me mixing it. All right, I should mention this is also brown rice that we fermented, so the cooking times for white rice would be a little bit different. I actually do not recommend cooking with white rice, and I don't cook with white rice. And the reason behind that is because white rice is actually a processed food. And the reason why is because that white rice was actually originally brown rice to begin with. And what ends up happening is what makes it brown is called the bran on the outside. But that contains all the vitamins and minerals inside the rice itself to make it so your body handles the rice better, because rice is a carb. And so when you buy white rice, that's all removed and you're just left with the white, which is the same thing with salt. The reason why we use colored salt is because the color inside the salt are the minerals that help your body handle salt without having issues with salt. And so we want to make sure that we're cooking with brown rice because it still has the color. And the soaking process and the fermenting process helps to take care of that arsenic that some people are worried about when it comes to brown rice. So that's not really that big of a concern because it's usually taken care of in that process. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my cream of chicken. I'm going to try and fit this big bad boy into 2 13x9 pans. This could be interesting. Give it a stir. And this is going to bake at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes-ish. And in that time, the rice is going to finish absorbing all this creamy goodness. All right. It's kind of like a ham and rice. I grew up with like chicken and rice with the canned soups. It's kind of like that, but it's got broccoli and ham in it instead. Well, I wonder if it's all going to fit. I might make 3 13x9 pans. Wouldn't that be something? All right. This smells so good, you guys. Okay, I'm going to switch pans. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. The world's a little crazy out there. Okay. Let's get the rest of this put into our pan. And then we're going to add my favorite ingredient of this month, which is pork cracklings. You don't have to add them, but I have a surplus of them because I just finished making lard. So it's just all around the house. So we're just going to add a little bit because we already have ham in here, so it's kind of the same flavor anyway. And it's a great way to get some more fat into my family and fill them up. It's going to fit exactly in 2 13x9 pans. Look at that. It's almost like someone was following a recipe when they made it or something. All right. Let's see if I can get the rest of this out. We need a scoop. And I'm going to remove this other pan right away because I have a tendency to let it sit here. And glass cooktops, they retain their heat, and I really don't want this to burn to the bottom again this week. So we'll move it over here. And I'm actually probably going to add just a little bit of water to that, just to make sure it doesn't burn to the bottom. Because you're not supposed to use metal scrubbies on the cast iron Dutch ovens. So you don't want to burn things to them because you'll never be able to get it off. All right. So to the tops of these 2 casseroles, I'm going to add my pork cracklings. You do not have to do this. I'm going to because I have them in surplus, like I said, from making lard. So, and it adds more texture and more flavor to the dish. So I'm just going to layer it. And it's a great way, like I said, to help your family because this is pretty much fried pork fat. And so, yeah. That will fill up your family pretty darn fast. And just in case people are wondering, yes, I have a lovely farmer who lives locally that raises the pork out on pasture. And he does rotational grazing with them. They were happy pigs. And this is happy lard. Happy lard and happy pork cracklings. All right. That should do her. Okay, and then the last ingredient is cheddar cheese. I buy this cheddar cheese from Azure Standard. It's the Romano Family Organic brand. So because I'm baking this, this is not raw cheese because that would defeat the purpose of paying the high price for raw cheese. But this is organic cheese. They sell it in big blocks at Azure Standard, which is why I love buying from them. It makes it more doable. And the more things that you can buy in bulk, the better for your food budget. All right. There. So these are going to go into the oven at 350 degrees and bake for 25 to 30 minutes. I've got the racks on the medium height inside my oven. I'm going to bake both of them. I mean, you could, this is the one I'm going to freeze. I could skip the baking process and just freeze it. That would be fine, but I'm going to go ahead and bake it. To me, it just makes a faster like serving time when I go to serve it. And usually when you're doing freezer meals, you're short on time. That's why you're doing them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we are baking at 350 degrees. All right. So as far as the channel goes, unless anyone has any questions, if you have a topic you want to talk about, go ahead and type it in down in the comments right now, and we'll talk about it while I'm live. I already have next week's meal up. It says a pre-scheduled event, so if you just go to the channel, it'll pop right up, and you can just click the notify me button for next week's cooking class. I actually don't remember what I'm making, but it's up there. I already planned it out. And it has a list of ingredients in there as well in case you want to buy them for next week. That's awesome. That's up on the channel. Also, for anyone who's made it this far inside the live, which usually people who watch the replay don't make it this far, but I just want to know, is there any interest for a live Q&A? I could have my husband there if someone wants to ask him a question, or it could be me, but if there's any interest in a live Q&A, I would love to do that for you guys. Comment down below and let me know. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. Like I said, my cookbook, all the links for my cookbook, my meal plans, everything is down below. The links for the sole salt, the links for the liver, all of that stuff is all down below. So all you guys have to do is click it and buy it. It's so easy. Sharon wants a live Q&A. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? It's been a very long time since I did a live Q&A. It's been like at least 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe longer, a year. I'm not sure. So anyway, if you have interest in that, leave a comment down below. And if there's enough interest, I'll do one and it'll be fun. Okay, so that's it. So once this is done baking, it comes out. I'm gonna let it cool. I'm gonna freeze the one. We're gonna eat the other one and it'll be absolutely delicious. So yeah, this was another recipe that I took and I altered, which is so easy, you guys. If you guys have the cookbook and it has that cream of mushroom, cream of chicken recipe in it, you guys can take a lot of the processed meals that you're used to, make the cream of chicken and cream of mushroom ahead of time, pull it out of your freezer, and make your processed meal more nutrient dense. That's actually how I started this whole journey. I was cooking from scratch, but I was still dependent on cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, condensed milk, all of those things inside my recipes. And when my oldest daughter was diagnosed with ASD, autism, she's on the spectrum, but also wrapped in with that was gluten intolerance, like a severe gluten intolerance. I had to cut those out because a lot of them have gluten in them or they have yucky thickeners. And so I had to cut them out and I had to learn how to make my own cream of mushroom and cream of chicken. And so that was one of the first foods that I decided I had to learn how to cook. I had to make a recipe for it. I had to invent it because I had so many processed, I can't say processed, so many meals depending on the cream of mushroom and cream of chicken that I knew I had to make a recipe so I could continue making those recipes, but then have the from scratch ingredients. So that's where the cream of mushroom and cream of chicken came in. It's not hard. It takes less than 10 minutes to make it. You can make a huge batch in 10 minutes and let it cool all the way, put it in freezer bags, pop it in the freezer and pop it out before your meal. So anyway, super good. That recipe's in here. Links down below for the cookbook. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys next week. I don't know if I'll put a video out between now and next week. We'll just have to see. Depends on if a goat has a baby or not. I'm really excited about that too. I'm hoping she has 2 babies. but I'm thinking it's just one. So anyway, depending on how my week goes, I might put another video out. All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next week on the live.